Okay, sorry, 1 second. I started. Hello everyone, welcome back. Day 6 for our Java and Python training. In day 5, we exposed ourselves to a little bit about concepts on functions and how we can build them both in Java and Python. And we also practiced a little bit. And I would want you to continue practicing, team, on the functions and whatever we did so far. Just keep writing your own code. If you've observed, I've not shared the code with you. But when you look at the video, you can pause the video and write your code. I want you to write the code, team, rather than creating or taking the code that I have created in the sessions and plainly executing. So let's open up with our PyCharm and also our Eclipse. And what we're going to talk about is the concept of arrays today, team. There are assignments that I've given you. If anyone have completed, I will come to the assignments shortly after we go through some of these. So let's understand the concept first, team. What are arrays and why do we require them? So think of it this way, everyone. So let's say there's a variable, okay? Now there's a variable v1 and there's a value x1 and there's a variable v2 and there's a value x2. Now all of these variables may not be related with each other and they're stored as different variables in your programming language. When you call that by the name, you get the value. The name is v1, the value you will get will be x1. Now, this is how we are looking at things. This is almost like how we talk about giving a address for a home, saying, where is my home located? So you give your home number, then you give the street number, then you give the city, state, country, and then zip code. Okay? So this becomes the details that go for your address team. You could store it in a string and that is fine. But now what happens if there's someone who's living in an apartment block? Okay. And let us say it's just a single level apartments. Everyone is in the same floor. So there's apartments one after the other. So there's the first apartment, second one, third, fourth, and the fifth apartment. So the address for the whole apartment is the same. But within that, do I want to go to the first or the second or the third or the fourth or the fifth? Then I'm able to give or tell by a specific index as to where it is position wise, then I can put it into an array. So primarily arrays helps us to store related data together under one name. You can call each of those data items using their index / position that starts with a 0. So now let's look at it, how we do it in Java. You'll get a more crisper idea. Then we'll go to the other one. So J12, new Java code, class J12 underscore arrays, main method, and finish this. So we've seen functions yesterday, team, briefly how they work. So let's play around with arrays now. All right. So let's say I'm defining a variable. What do I want to define? There are, let us say, 5 residents in 5 different apartments. Okay. So for each of the residents, I can say R1 equals to the address for R1. So I of course have to say string, and then similarly I will say R2, R3, R4, R5. And each of these has its own data within. Now for me, all the R1 data or R data is related with one set. What that means? That, for example, let us say there are 5 users in a building, users/humans. Now, instead of naming them in different variables, I will put them into something I call as an array. So when I say an array to Java team, what I have to talk about is I need to mention very clearly that it's got with one square brackets open and closed, and I'll give it the name. I'll say string of R, or let us say user names equals, and in this now I can put all the names like Bob, let's put Steve, let's put Samantha, and the syntax or the format for this team is basically, let's erase this. String open square brackets, close square brackets, nothing inside it. Basically says it is an array, a single dimension array. In that we're calling user names, all of it surrounded by curl brackets. And I can, in a very simple manner, once sorry. So in a very simple manner, I can get the information of each of them. So when I say syso and say print user names, or let's say user name, and here also user name, and now in square brackets I have to give the position starting with 0. So the 0 position for me belongs to Bob, the first one, and so on till 5. So I can look at all the stored data, different information under one name, and that is what it will contain. So if I run this program now, I would get each of the users from here too. So for me, it primarily helps to store related data one besides the other. So I can call based on the order. Now, sometimes I don't know how long, I don't want to give this print statements. What could I do better about it? I could print and say, in a very simple manner, one is for int I equals 0, because it will start with 0. The count starts with 0, not 1. 0 is referring to our first item in the array. Okay, 1 is referring to the second, 2 to the third, 3 to the fourth, 4 to the fifth. So when I say int I equals to 0 and I is less than 5 in this case, because I know that it only has 5 totally, so it will go till 4, and I'll say I plus plus. Now each time, instead of printing the whole thing, I can just print and say username, and what will I put in the square brackets now? Can someone tell me? What can I put in the square brackets to get the exact same output as the first the lines 13 to 17? What do you think I can put in that thing? Where is the interaction from everyone? I'm only seeing 5-6 answers so far. There's a large group attending. Username is already there. What will I put inside the square brackets here? It will be this variable I, because I would then start with 0. It will go till 4 each time inside the for loop. Right? Makes sense, everyone? And I would get the same output. So instead of me having to print them individually, I could just parameterize that member and call it accordingly. That's a great thing we can do. Now, let us say I accidentally print username 5. What would happen in this case, team? It is looking at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 does not exist. And it will throw one more runtime error called index out of bound exception for that. Okay. Index is nothing but the number you start with 0 to say what is the position. That is the index. It is like a roll number, order number. That series is very important. If I take Steve from here and I put after Samantha, then the whole order has changed. So we can only go depending on that specific order. So if I say index is out of 5, then it's a problem. So how can I get, now I know that this is only 5, but if it's a larger one, what I could do is I'll say int length of my array equals, I'm actually forgetting the commands myself. It should be pretty easy. I think it's just what is the name of the array, team? What is the name of the array? The array name is username dot. When I say username dot, you would see a set of methods or properties that are there available for you. And we're going to use this concept called length. This would provide the length for that specific array. Returns the length of the array. So then what I could do, I could easily do the same thing and say, you know, I know the array size, so I don't have to hard code it here. I'll just say len array. I could also print here system array len is plus len array. Making sense, everyone? So I could get the length of the array, print it, and use that instead of hard coding. Now this will throw index out of bounds for us. So I could still execute this data. The biggest advantage for us, team, is the fact that one declaration, one name, I can define a lot of these. Now there is another way to, if I don't want to use I and put all of these, I can just say something like for string my user in username think this is better. And then I just do the same. Like this. And here there is no I in this, there is no username. So I will just print my user. So what this one does, look at the variations that we have done in this team to access the data in. We have put the data into it initially. We are getting the data one by one. Or if I know the size, I could loop through it. Or I could get the length of the array and loop through it. Or I don't know the size, I don't know what it is, and so on. I'll just say string my user username. So whatever is there will get printed one after the other. Here I'll put it like this, just so it's easy for us to look at. And now it will perform the same exact way. And this statement is replicating something similar to this here. Only thing is the string my user in each time goes to the array username, takes the value from it and puts it back in here. In this case, I changes. In this case, my user changes. I has an integer value that you can use as an index or position to say and get the value from the array. This my user has the actual content of the array. So I can just print my user. Each iteration, it will change. Now you could also change the values in the array. So if I say username 2 equals now KK and reprint this. So any of these that is there, the data, you can go and change that content in it. So the username 2. So which one will get changed now? Can you tell me, please? Everyone. And I said username 2 gets changed to KK. Who gets changed to KK in this list? Oh, sorry, in this array? Samantha is not the right one. Samantha is index 1. Bob is 0. Samantha is 1. Steve, yes, Steve. Most of you gave the right answer. Almost 15 of you gave the answer. Steve gets changed to KK. So now at the end of it, let's see what comes out. So Bob, Samantha, then Steve is missing and we have KK now instead. So you can change the values inside the array. I could also change it in a different way. Okay, how will I change it? Ting, 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 ting. I can put it like if I equals to so and so, if the name is so and so, then change it. Lot of ways you could put as a logic. But all in all, how do you get the data out of it to be able to access that information? Okay, so that's the overview of arrays. I will show you what we could do with it a lot as we play around. Just simple few things with single dimension. Then there's a concept of multi-dimensional array, and that is not very complex at all. We will go to that in the next stage. Shall we look at PyCharm now and see how we can do the same in Python, everyone? Any questions on this so far? I had a hand raised. I was going through the session, so I thought I'll break. Any questions, please? 12 lists. List. Okay. Stream, we primarily, within the whole concept of Python, we have list Python has more team: list, tuples, set, dictionaries. Okay? And even in Java, you'll see a couple more related with that. But list is very similar to our array in Java. So how does it work? What is the same thing we'll try and create here? Now, the first and foremost thing is creating a list. So to create a list, I don't need to define the type of it. I'll just say username equals, and in this case, we're using square brackets team. The content is the same for me. I'll just take this. So Bob, Samantha, Steve, Pete, Isaac. All right. And now I've got my entire list into this team. The pretty much the advantage of having a list is that you can change the values, you can access the values and do whatever you want. So if I just say print username and give in square brackets 0 and go all the way to the last one here and give this as 4, we basically are able to access the content. So let's run this. So Bob is the first one, Isaac is the last one. So very similar to what you see within the arrays in Java. We can also get the length. So I'll say length, user length. Yes. Equals whatever is the name of that array. I think it is not dot. So username, it will be a function called length, and I pass username to it. It should be able to print out what the length is. Length of the list is, comma, user length. This should be able to print out the length of the whole list within for us. It says the 5 items first. So you can always go for that in a loop and say for I in range of this length that we have. I'll basically say user length and it will navigate through that. And I'll say print, it's actually for users. Print user. Let's see what this does. All we are doing in the user length, whatever is there, we're doing here the user in range. First, let's do for user in user name. Print user. So this should be able to go through one item of the or after the other in that specific list. So if I say run to this, we go through that list and start printing it out to us one after the other. It is the same thing like trying to put it into a simple for loop for us and talking about like I can go through the range of so starting till 5. So the way I can do it using the range, so I'll say for I in are we talking about range of user length And here I'll say print username and in square brackets I'll put I. So it should basically start with 0 and go all the way to and be able to print this. Oh, it reached. Just to get the print neatly distributed for us team, so it will be legible for us to see what we're doing, how we're doing, and so. So that's our data team, and exactly like in Java, you could also change your content and say any of these data. For example, here I'll say username of 3 equals. Now I'll change it to KK. So now username of 3 will refer to what team? Can someone tell me? Which one would it replace? That will be Pete this time. So 0, 1, 2, and 3 is Pete. So when we print this, the last one, we will see that change happening. So after Steve, Pete has become KK. So you can replace the value to wherever you would want. There are commands on insert. We have insert, delete, or remove this pop and append. So primarily, you could add a few more things. We will explore these later. Team. I just want to give you the basic overview of it, get you started on both arrays and lists on Python and Java. So did you get a kind of a just idea, team? What's happening with this? Any questions on this, please? I have a hand raised. Divya, do you have a question? Let me know, please, if you have a question, Divya. Did unmute you. Your hand was raised. Okay. Okay, great. So team, at this point, I would want to see what you have done on the banking application, because the concept of these lists and array, you could apply it into the banking application and make it a little bit more interactive. Can someone guide me through what they've done? Who wants to show assignments? Raise your hands, please. Even if you have some of the issues happening, that is fine. It's just to explore what all we have done. I think you've dialed in through a phone. Will you have audio support? Just send you an audio and see if you're able to speak. It'll make you presenter. Shaker, right? You said. And Satya, sure. If you can log in also, that's fine. Let's take a look at that. I just made you presenter, Satya. I cannot hear you yet, though.
No?
Hello, now I can hear you.
Okay. Actually, I haven't completed it. It's just ongoing, it's progressing.
Mm.
I just did only the login part. I just initialized some of the variables, but which is not yet used. So if you see, I'm just printing the bank name, and then I'm getting the user input, and I'm just reading the input from the console, and then just trying to print it out. And what I'm trying to do is here, I have created a function.
I see.
So in the function, actually, what I did is I passed two arguments, two parameters, and I'm getting that input and comparing that with the whether it's matching with the real username and password or not.
Very good.
And this, I think this one is in progress. Actually, I tried to find out how many number of attempts they are trying to do if it is a failed case. So it was not completed, but I can show you the rest. One second, I'll just run it through you. Okay.
One second. Can you show me the code? What is there below? Anything below that? Nothing
No,
else?
actually, no. I'm just progressing it. I haven't started yet.
So
Yeah, so I don't want to
comparing it
necessarily.
once, if the username and password are correct, and if it is correct, we print. If either is correct, either username or password didn't match, please try again.
Yeah, if it is not matching, it will show you that it's not matched. Please try again.
Okay.
My next attempt was like trying to calculate how many number of attempts it's going failed, and then for that I was just trying the for loop. Still haven't started that. I can just show you.
No problem. Just the idea is instead of for loop, use a while loop and say login attempt less than 3.
Okay, while loop, right?
Yes, and if you say while login attempt less than 3.
Okay.
In the brackets, yeah.
3. Okay.
Then we will do all of this if statement.
Okay.
Now, if then we can use something called as a break and continues out here. I'll walk you through. But right now, just comment that while loop and your login each time has to be incremented.
Right. So that incrementation, like I have to do, I mean, after the else part or like.
In line 39, just say login attempt plus plus.
Okay. Okay.
Now, after while statement, put a curl bracket.
Oh yeah. Right.
And after the if statement, put another curl bracket.
If statement, we have one. I can close that one, right?
See, now here is where I would want you to do a little neater coding. Satya. It will help you in future. Can I get keyboard and mouse control?
Sure. I can. Yeah. I'm just giving it. It was just a rough work. I was just creating, so still the alignment was not done.
No problem. And team, just like what I'm saying, let us say you have a car, okay? Yes, we are just doing casual driving, but that doesn't mean that we will bang our car, right? Anyway, we should not. So for us, even when we are doing, we will maintain the uniform. So for example, login attempt here, this is done.
Right.
Use indents, please. Always use indents.
Okay.
Ever not use indent. If you don't use indent, I do not know which code belongs where.
Okay, got it.
Visibility will be a little bad, not that easy for us. So now it will get easy. Okay, this is the if part, this is the else part. If is within the while loop, and so on. And this is the end of it. So this and this, same line. Now this is for part of your function. In fact, all of this. And please don't mind if I'm changing your code team, because just giving when it is visible for us right in front of us.
Yeah, it's very much.
So good. So I have string so and so, login attempt is here. Now I don't need the for loop. Now see, if this and this, then that's good.
Right.
It will go back. So here, what I will say, user log in equals false. Now, do we know a variable called Boolean variable team?
Yes.
So Boolean is another variable. It will only have two values, a true or a false. You see no double quotes around it. It's not like a string. So here what I will say, if they matched, right? I will say user logged in. See, user logged in equals true. Oops. Now this is true, so I'll write while login attempt is less than 3, till at least we learn break, and user logged in is false. So if I have to give user logged in is false, I'll say an exclamation before, not user logged in. Then we will do. So see, look at the logic now. So we will come here, login attempt is 0. User logged in is false. Will come here. User enters incorrect details. It will come here. User logged in is still false, right? Login attempt is 1. Login attempt is 1, and it is user is not logged in. That is true. So it will go again till 3 times, or user is logged in. Actually, login attempt 3 or
it's just 1%, right?
It will not be no, I think double ampersand only. But I think it should not be and. No, it should break from here. Basically, we use a break statement.
Okay.
Break I have not shown yet. Break will come out of that loop. The
Exactly.
user. So I don't need to use all of this. And I don't need this also. I don't need this too. Break out of it. This one. Yeah, I think this is fine. And let's try now. In your code, maybe we made little changes, but I think we can still try.
Sure.
Is there an error? 1 second, don't proceed. See, it gave you an error. Save.
Yeah.
So let's try and fix that error. Scroll down.
7, line 7, right?
No, it's saying line 7, the main method. If you scroll down further, I'll show you. Let your mouse go. 1 second. So let go, please.
Sure.
Let go of your mouse, please.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So you see this? This is where we are in the code. Error is somewhere here.
Okay.
Take us there. And this is the problem for us. It's either an extra one or we'll have to figure that out.
Right.
I think this is an extra one maybe.
Yeah, I think that's the extra one.
No, it's not. This is my bank ending. Let's see.
Actually, that's for the last method I was just trying to create. I think that one was not commented. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So that is.
Yeah, that was commented.
Okay. Okay. Now let's save it. That way, we will know if the error has disappeared. So error is gone. Now let's run this.
Okay. Okay. Oh, it prints 3 times.
Oh, it's gone through it 3 times, is it?
Uh-huh.
Because each time you have to ask the user to take inputs, right?
Right, right.
So these inputs that we have here should
that also go in the
go inside
loop.
loop.
Oh, okay, okay.
So so what we can do a lot of things on this. The easiest way is because the user has to enter each time.
Right.
So the best is just to cut this.
And we can put it inside the method. Okay.
Inside where should we put it? Inside the while before we get into if. Okay.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
already have username here. So this is username, user password. When if I log in, you're not calling. So you're not calling this function passing these anymore because you will take it in there.
Yeah, right.
Can we save this as a different version so that you'll not
Sure.
lose your old version?
Yeah, you can make it.
I plan to. That's fine. Verify login. This requires no inputs. And this will become user name. This will
Yeah. It's my bank too. Yeah.
and this will be user password.
Yeah, it's username. Line 30.
Username I put right.
Yeah, no, it's US. Yeah, it's misspelled.
So then we are comparing and we are breaking. Otherwise, we will read. So now let's see if we can work on this.
Okay.
Let's run it.
Yeah, okay. Should I run it?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's asking again.
And why does it say username entered is XYZ1234? That will change.
Okay.
But finish it, I'll tell you.
Right. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I'll finish it.
Squared first.
Okay, I'll just put the right one. Oh, I just gave the valid. I mean, matching one, but still for that also.
I see. XYZ 1, 2, 3, 4, correct?
Yeah. Mm,
This is username. This is user password. Username. So when we are doing text comparison team, we do not use double equal to. We use dot equals.
oh, okay.
Double equal to, we use it for number comparison. For text comparison,
Okay.
it will be dot equals. And it also
Okay.
dot equals ignore case, if case
Okay.
is very important for you.
Okay.
That's a statement. If and this, now I think it should work. Let's give YZ 1, 2, 3, 4 username username password.
Yeah.
So that's good there.
Okay.
Enter, tick, tick, tick. Enter,
Right.
enter.
Okay. Since we have given 3
It's
times.
done. So then we should put something in that. So when do we do that? While login, right? It is less than. So it is already reached.
Yeah, already reached 3 times, so you didn't ask for again.
Yeah.
The next step.
So here what we will do, enter username and password, didn't match. So very simple. I'll do if login attempt is greater than or equal to, how many chances? 3 is it?
Yeah.
Then I will say so exceeded max attempts. Okay. Sorry. Then what we will do here is we can also do another break. Get out of else.
So we can use the break in inside the if also.
It will only come out of a loop.
Okay. Okay.
Break continues there. So it will help us to come out of that loop.
Okay.
If statement only one runs once, right? It will not loop.
Right.
Break is right. So break always comes out of the first loop that is available.
Okay.
So here we're saying if login attempt is greater than or equal to 3, then I'll say exceeded max attempt, sorry, break. Else we'll go through this. So let's see. 1, 1. 2, 2. 3, 3. Does four chances?
No, it's less than equal to 3. I think we have given in
If
while loop.
login attempt is greater than or equal to 3.
Equal to you have to remove, I believe, right? No.
No. If equal to 3, it should work, right? It's what is it starting with 0?
Oh, right. Okay.
Is less than 3. So it's not even going till 3.
3. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
So then it is less than or greater than or equal to 2. It will be.
Okay.
If it is greater than 2, that's it. Greater than or equal to. So
Right. Now we got it.
exceeded maximum and solve. So
Okay.
we run this with the right information, which is 1, 2, 3. No.
No, it's XYZ and 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. Nice.
Working now.
You're able to get there. And now once you've logged in, you have everything in there. What do you?
Right.
Very nice. So see, good of you to attempt to try and get that logic to that certain extent. And it is all about slowly making small improvements over time.
Right. Actually, this was the logic I had in mind, but for the implementation part, it got stuck up.
Not a problem. So it's very easy initial days to get a little confused. And our brains also can get very heated up when we're doing it. So we can get tired. So the easiest is now first organize everything neatly.
Right. Okay.
So for us, eye-wise, we can visually see things clearly. There is more. There is more clarity. If confusion is there, it will be tough for us to be creative.
Right.
Very nice. Thank you, Satya.
Yeah, thanks so much, Karthik. It looks good now.
Who else, team? Anyone else going after? Venkata or Shekhar, I don't know how to make you presenter because your audio seems to be off. I'll try. Anyone else going after Shekhar then? Just made you presenter, Shekhar. And I believe you are also on audio. Hello. I can see your screen now, but can't hear you, just letting you know. I was able to hear you the other day. Sorry, still unable to hear. Can we see your code at least? Let's see visually. My code level bank. Okay. So just scroll. Yes. So we have welcome to ABC Bank in the main method. And then all our functions, user login, user deposit, user ID balance. Looking at user login. In user login, we have DX, DP, UX, UP. That is user name and password, actual and expected, I'm guessing. Scanner to get your username into UX and UP. So UX and UP will have the inputs from the user. We're comparing UX dot compare to DX and UP dot compare to, and you can use equal to also. I'm not sure how compare to will perform, but if it's working, that's good. Welcome to the get correct. Else if they're not equal to, please enter correct username and try. Else if, please enter. Else, please enter. And then we're closing the input streams. That's our user login. So If the user enters the right information, the first one, welcome. When will we say welcome again for else if? Well, no. So in this case, your condition is not changing at all. Little confused. See, we have if else, if, then else. And that is the reason what we do sometimes for this nested if loops, if statements. Can you give me keyboard and mouse, please? We also do a little indentations. Where is the curl bracket for this if statement? And all of this, why is it right under the if? See, when we, if your eyes will get confused, your brain is gone for a toss. Make sure on that. If so and so, what is this happening here? Oh, I don't know. No else if yet. Just log. Definitely a little confused on these. See, because your else if has to have a specific meaning. Okay, let's say second attempt, we enter. Why we are not taking inputs again from the user, correct? It's the same input. User input is taken only once. We are comparing the same things over and over again. And again the same thing, again the same thing. So it won't change any time. Yes, scanner, I'll cover it. Scanner, I think I already covered in the previous sessions. Okay, so I don't want to disturb your code now. I'll just undo, please. This is undo button. A little bit more legible on the code, it'll be easy for us to review. Let's assume the user is logged in. Now let's look at the user deposit. So we're trying to add something. Yes.
Yeah, I just logged in from the other phone.
Okay.
So the thing is, I didn't make any comparison here for the login. I took it from my previous exercise to redo, like, if else loop. I just made a login attempt. I wanted to see how the login works, and then I went to the other functions, and then I wanted to come back and do the if else loop. So at this point of time, I just wanted to, my idea was like, if I wanted to have a variable where this fails, define a variable, and then based on that, I wanted to loop out how the failure occurs, kind of thing.
So the number one thing for us is if is a statement, it is not a loop. We cannot loop through it. It only go one way, up to down. It can't go back into it. So for loop, you'll have to use for or while loop. Okay. So if statement, in this case, we'll do a comparison one time. But if you have to repeat that, then you have to put it into a loop. And you'll only loop when the user enters in. So look at that logic and come back on. Okay.
Sure. My issue was like the other things, like I've defined the all user login and then user deposit and user balance. When I run individually, they're working, but then when I run together, I'm getting errored out. And then I ran into, like, the time ran out, the session started, so I couldn't look into it.
I see, no problem. Try it again, but yes, you need, very good. So that is the right approach. I like your main method, very simple. You have 5 steps in it. In user deposit, line 13, you should send the amount to deposit as an input to the function. How much do we want to deposit?
I'm just giving here defined.
Okay, enter amount you want to deposit here. Very good, got it. Okay. User balance is here. Oh, very nice. This is good. You want to check updated balance, type yes or no. Yes. Okay, thanks for deposit. Very nice. You've done a very good job on this. Scroll. Anything further down on this?
Yeah, about next one is the withdrawal.
Okay. So you're going to subtract from that amount?
Yeah, I tried to return this user balance and then use it in the withdrawal, but that's what I'm saying. Like, when I'm clubbing 2 different methods, functions, I'm getting errored out. So I defined a variable.
Because there is something called the scope or a life of a variable. Now, did I get, you have keyboard balance, right? Now you're saying user balance, this is there here, correct? It will only belong to this out here. So what I need to do is this one, I will define it as a global variable under the class. I'll say double user balance is so and so. And this double also was misspelled in your code. Now what happens? The same user balance will be applied anywhere. So you could basically add to that user balance and you could remove from it. What happened here? Oh, because this is static methods. We have not discussed about static yet. This is going to be directed global. Now what happens here is when you add the balance, it will get added to your user balance. And you can say, thanks for the deposit, your updated balance and so on, it will get reflected. Now withdraw, you're saying amount is B, is it? Is that the amount you want to withdraw?
Yes, yes. No, that's the balance.
Okay. So balance, why are you selling balance, sending balance again? Balance is there.
Yeah, because, like, say deposit, whatever balance I'm having, I want to withdraw from that.
No. It is, see, for deposit, you have to send how much you want to deposit. Okay. For balance, you don't have to send how much. Why do you want withdraw?
No, how much balance I'm having, so that I want to check it from that.
If you already know the balance, then what is the point? See, why would you want the balance there as an input to that function? You're thinking like a human, not like a computer at this point. All right. User withdrawal. How much the user wants to withdraw is what you will send here. And that will get deducted from your overall balance. So what is your overall balance? U balance was there, right? So U balance equals old U balance minus whatever you send this B right now, which is a withdrawal. So you have withdrawn that much amount. So double withdrawal amount, we don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
Withdrawal amount. Okay, how much enter amount you want to withdraw? Withdraw amount is here, right? So yeah, then you just do with WD amount. That's fine. You don't send any more being. You don't need.
Okay.
And this also I'll save it as 2, so you can keep the original and also try this. So now see, observe. So this I'll get to explain on these global variables. But I'm just trying to look at the simple logic of it. Why is there an indent here for the user login? And maybe the other method also. You don't need an indent, so we will do that. What is the problem here? B. Your updated balance is U balance. So when, let us say you're logged in, we will ignore that. And user deposit return something back, is it?
Yeah, balance.
No, it's not
Updated
return.
balance.
It should only update the balance first. That's all it has to do.
And then my idea was like the deposit, whatever deposited, I wanted to take that balance and use it in withdrawal. That's why I was trying to do that. That's what I'm trying to do.
Correct. But this is standard. Please remember that your balance is available for you in the account. It will withdraw from there. You don't have to send that as an input. The details you have to send as an input is usually a username or password, not your balance amount. Balance amount, computer should fetch it for us. What we should give as input. So double here, user deposit. I'll say to deposit how much I want to deposit, and take that old balance. Oh, you're again. So then you don't even need. And it's a returning.
I don't need to return. Don't need to return then.
You don't need to.
Yeah, then maybe the function needs to be changed.
Yeah. Only for check balance or get balance, maybe you need to return. So you're calling user deposit, then you're calling, what's the other one?
Balance.
Withdraw. What is there in user withdrawal? Nothing, input. Because you're asking the question in back.
Yeah.
So now let's try and see, is it any syntax?
I think return, I think I try to return in deposit. Can you go to deposit function?
User deposit is returning something, a double value, but I'm not using it.
Okay, fine.
It will return, but I'm not capturing that anywhere. I don't care.
Okay.
If I say x equals, then I'm capturing that value. Now I'm just executing that function. So it will ignore what we deposited. Sorry, what we added. Which one is this? My code 11.2. Run it for us. Amount you want to deposit. So it's 365, right? Okay, 200. Do you want to check the updated balance? Yes.
Yeah.
Now scroll up this. Expand the window a little. Use the balance to see this one is because lot of 3,650 to 3,850 is correct. Thanks for deposit. See, there's errors. Thanks. Look at the sentence later, please. Now, no such element exception. Enter amount of you want to withdraw. It says Java line 16. It's gone to Java line 80. So let's see. Oh, you didn't enter? Thanks for deposit. What is this here?
I tried to move in the integer into the withdrawal amount.
Okay. Yes. So why did it fail on this line 80? 1 second. User withdrawal. User deposit. What does it do at the end? udeposit.close. uch.close. What is UCH?
The choice whether yes or no.
Enter amount you want to withdraw.
That's where it's. If I comment if I execute that function alone, it was working, but when I try to combine together, that's when it's failing.
I see. Deposit of. See again, there are a lot of things here that we are doing. What are we closing here? Two things. Why did we open? There, I see something called uDeposit scanner. Enter the amount you want to deposit. Okay. Enter. Do you want to check the updated balance? If it's a lot of good code that you've written, for sure. We have to debug too. What's going on here? It's happening on line 80. What are you subtracting? Did you give an enter the amount for you to withdraw? Nothing seems to be wrong with this, right?
Yeah.
What is WD amount? Withdrawal amount.
That's the withdrawal amount.
Let's run them individually.
I need to pass the variable. Now, yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Now we have defined a global variable.
Which is correct. That's working. And now let's try only the first one. Is it 2 or no?
No.
Let's try this.
Sorry.
Okay, good. Now let's try both. That's interesting. Share this code. I'll see what's happening there. It should be easy to fix. Let me see 1 second. See, it's happening right here. Enter amount you want to withdraw. Withdraw amount used to withdraw dot next int. Next int. New. $80. It's failing here. Next int related to scanner. What is the question? I'm not sure where this is going wrong. Okay, let us do one thing. I'm going to stop this from returning anything and also remove the word called double here. And
What?
User deposit. And yeah, and now let's run again. Now it's gone one line more, 81, so which is what we get. Entire amount you want to withdraw, system.in. Oops, sorry. One second. Same thing. Send this code, please. I want to try it at my end too. Why is this happening? Not sure.
Sure.
But the logic is correct. Your flow was right. I think you put in a lot of effort and very good looking. Only a few corrections that we made. And guys, sometimes can be what happened? Why am I not able to control the keyboard? Can you go up?
Sorry?
I'm not able to use your mouse or keyboard.
I gave the control. It's with you. Okay.
You can scroll up for me once. Can't see your screen. I think it's frozen for me. Yeah, now I can see. Okay. So here, I'll just put the statement and say deposit. Double withdraw amount. Why are you saying that's double? Okay. So if withdraw amount is double, how will we take integer there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Done deposit, enter amount you want to withdraw. It's still happening. So I changed it to int withdraw amount, whatever we put in. Oh, where is UWD scan withdraw amount dot next int? integer scanned from the input. We've got withdraw amount here. Where did it fail? Line 82. Scanner, go for next unknown source. What is your unknown source here? It's got something in UWD, right? So I'll just print what is there in UWD. And WD amount, where is it?
It's defined here.
Why is it defined there?
Line 75.
Isn't that the okay? Next bit, and then you're putting it in here. Okay, we need to convert this into integer for sure. There's an issue with this UWD dot
Next int.
it's really such a simple error that basics will be interested in there. See here, nicely you wrote int UDEP, and then UDEP equals this. Here you're doing it round and round and round and round about somewhere. See, look here. Okay, you deposit, you got it into, and then you converted that into next int, and then you put it into UDEP. And did we close these?
Yes.
I'll close it right after I finish using it. What?
61. Now it's
Okay. Let's do one. All this close which is there, whatever we're closing, let's close them all at one point. Okay, so all this entry now we should have done this. This is with the closure here that it is hurting. What if I don't close it?
syntax error.
Syntax error, I don't think it will be.
Oh,
It will be only a runtime error. And how many you have here? UWD. Again, you have two here. Okay.
yeah, choice. The back.
Which is correct. What you did. What did we do? Use a deposit, use a withdraw. Okay, this is right. Source closed is false. Something happening with this close. Once we're closing it, it is having an issue. try the same code without using functions for now and do all this close that is there at the end of it. So no function, just straight on. All the closures you can do at the end.
Okay.
So that way, because it's having a difficulty with these at the moment. One second. Use a deposit, I supposed to. These. Send me please. I'll also look. All right. Thanks everyone. Wow, it's
Sorry.
8:10.
Sorry for this.
No, not at all. But the major thing is the logic floating. If your code is clean and neat, it is very easy to debug. Otherwise, it will take plenty of time to debug. The logic has to be very simple and straight. Okay? The logic is simple and straight. It is only about the system input that is failing. We are taking input, we are closing, something is not happening correct. That is why it is not able to do. That's for sure. But we'll see what happens. It is working, and then thanks for deposit, done deposit, enter amount you want to withdraw. And then we'll have no such element exception. Why it's having a scanner issue? Because it wants my scanner to be there. Open scanner, new scanner system in. Okay, I'll try. All right, thanks everyone. Anything else from anyone for tonight? Okay, we'll see you all back tomorrow. Thank you, Shekhar.
Thank you. Once again. Thank you so much.